Hey guys, Evan Bourcier here, and I'm here with vlog number 3, and this week I'm going to be talking a little bit about invoicing and expenses. So this one's a little different than the last few because it's obviously a screen cap and not a me talking into camera so much thing, because I want to show you some stuff on screens. So for me early on, one of the biggest issues that I ran into from the business side of things was invoicing and expensing things. Expenses are very important because they have a very significant effect on your taxes at the end of the year and how much money the government wants from you. And invoices are important for keeping track of how much money you made and just for being able to send people what they owe you and whatnot. And so I originally was using this online invoice making thing. I can't even tell you what it's called. I don't know, but it was this kind of thing where you would just sort of something like this, and it was okay, but I had issues with it, and so I never really loved it. And there was no invoice number system or anything. It was all pretty random. And so at a certain point, my friend Chris Fenner suggested that I check out Wave, and Wave is really cool because it allows you to take something and here, 1 second, I'll pull up an example and bring up it's just a centralized online invoice creation system. So here's an example of an invoice that it'll spit out. But let's say you wanted to make an invoice. So you make an account, it's free. I think it unlocks some stuff maybe if you pay a certain amount of money, but I don't think I pay for it. I don't even know. I broke it. 1 second. So Wave is great. You should check out Wave. This is how I do all my invoicing, and I probably don't even use it to nearly its full potential. But basically what you do is you can come in and create an invoice. Let's say we want to make one for Ryan Sanderson, and then you can put in their information. They'll be your new customer, and it'll save that information. I've already imported all my information into it, and so it automatically appends all of that. The PO number, if you have to deal with that, like Mass Maritime and stuff, use PO numbers. It automatically keeps track of your invoice numbers. You can set invoice due dates on receipt, net 30, blah blah blah. We already talked about that. And then it saves all the things you ever add, so you can change them. But say you have voiceover, and you can change that price obviously, and then you wanted to add airport parking because you're getting reimbursement for that, C-stand rentals, whatever you happen to be invoicing people, your DP rate, blah blah blah. You can multiply them, add information, enter some notes, and then save it. Nope, there was an issue saving it. Sometimes you have to hit this a few times. I don't know why. If their site gets busy or what. And so then you have a draft invoice. You can go through, make sure it's all good. A lot of times I'll make these right before we do a job, and then as soon as the job is done, I'll just hit approve draft, and then I can send the invoice to the customer. Say it's Ryan's email at ryan.com. Send it. It'll bounce that over to them. You can add a message and whatnot. But one of the other really cool things about it is that it hooks up to do credit card payments too. So if you have clients and producers and stuff who just want to pay with a card instead of sending you a check or whatever, it can do that. And it hooks up to Stripe, I believe, if I remember correctly, which is easy to make another account on. And they just take a little percentage, but whatever you have to do, and it throws it right in your bank account for you. So that's all cool. And yeah, it'll show you currently out invoices. We'll delete this invoice for Ryan. So then expenses. Oh, and the other cool thing, let me jump back to this real quick. Dashboard is it can show you it can show you like big picture graphs of like how much you invoiced on a given month of the year. It'll show you your net income and expenses, you know, who your top clients are, blah blah blah. So that's all great. So the other thing I've been using is Expensify, and I like Expensify, but I think I'm gonna check out QuickBooks some more. And the thing that I like about Expensify is basically if you get a email, so like I just got an email receipt for my new 64 audio in-ears, I can just take that email, forward it to receipts@expensify.com, and it'll automatically read that email and import it in here as an expense. And so you can also scan receipts with your phone with this thing and stuff, and it's pretty cool. And so it's a lot better than just like writing stuff down. But I've still had some issues with it in that I never really found an optimal way to export at the end of the year, which is part of why I'm looking for QuickBooks. So I just ended up categorizing tons of stuff. But yeah, Expensify is what I use for all my expenses, and you can categorize things. Most of these aren't currently categorized, but you know, whatever it may be. You can put it in as a travel expense, whatever. And the other thing that's cool with this is you can bounce an expense report. So say you were like on your last trip, you were you had to book an Uber and pay for food and whatever else. You can scan the receipts and then let me see if this will work. Take these random things. South by Southwest business trip. Make a report out of it, and then if you take that report, you can continue to add things to it and whatever, but you can then actually send this off to someone. Sharing options. So say you have a producer or whatever, you can shoot them this. It'll say exactly what you paid for everything, and it'll have all the receipts tagged onto it here, whether email or physical receipts that you scanned in or whatever. So that's pretty cool. So Expensify is what I use for my expense tracking. But the other thing that everyone loves and that I have to just take more time to learn and check out is QuickBooks. So QuickBooks seems pretty cool. And I have an account. I just haven't really dug into it yet. But Wave is awesome. Highly recommend Wave. The credit card processing thing is awesome. You can also keep track of expenses somehow in Wave, but they added that after I started using it, and so I never really tried it. So you can probably centralize everything in something like Wave or QuickBooks, but this is the way I currently do it. And yeah, it works out okay for me. It's simple. The other thing that I use that I highly recommend is let me see if I can log into this online, is MileIQ, which is kind of related on the whole expense front. I don't think it'll show me it on here. I can't see like my account, but basically what it does is it tracks all your drives and gives you this list, and then you can swipe them whether they're business or personal trips, and then you can export your report that says all the drives you did and hand it off to your accountant for business mileage, which is worth big money. So it costs like $50 for a year, but I think I've claimed $900 of drives this month so far with it. So it pays for itself pretty quickly if you drive a decent bit, especially if you're bad at classifying things like me and remembering them. But this will save it so you don't have to remember them at the time. You can go back a week later and go like, oh yeah, when I did that drive to the airport, that was a business drive. So that's my general setup for expenses and invoicing and all that fun stuff. So if you have any questions, feel free to comment. If you want more information on this kind of thing, then subscribe, check out the other videos on the channel, and check out eBourcier.com, spelled the same way as my name in the channel. It's eBourcier.com, and there you'll find some cool blog posts. I just broke down a few shoots that I did, and I'll be adding some more stuff about gear soon. I think I'm going to talk about my small HD monitor next. So if you have any questions, hit me up, let me know. We're going to do these every Monday and try and give you guys as much information as possible. So thank you so much for watching.